let's talk about what it's going to really take to survive, and not only survive what's going on, because the world's changing forever. What's it going to take to thrive in the new world order?
Yep. Well, I'll first of all, thank you for having me. I appreciate your time. I know our time is very valuable these days. I'm also just going to let you know, I don't do this a lot. I do it maybe a couple times a month. I don't do it every day. When I shared with Ron, I go, there's enough Zoom calls that talk about virtual open houses and stuff like that. So I'm just going to let you.
Hey, Derek, can I just interrupt you real quick? If you can move your camera up just a bit, I'd love for the audience to be able to, there we go. Perfect. I know. Awesome. Thank you.
Perfect. So I think there's enough Zoom webinars and all that stuff about that. So I'm just going to relate a little talk that I gave to my team at the end of February. And I called it the Noah Talk, okay, about the guy that built the ark, okay? And I'm also going to, first of all, I'm also going to go fast. I'm also going to add some content from a guy named Keith Cunningham. Not going to go into his biography, but Keith Cunningham is a guy that I had the privilege to be, listened to 2 days ago on a mastermind call. Keith Cunningham advises Tony Robbins on finances and pretty smart guy. So I'm going to add some thoughts on that. But here's what I led with February 27th. It was 5 bullet points, okay? Number 1, I told my group, I want you to panic. And when I was telling people I want them to panic, it's not Chicken Little. It's not pessimism. It's just there's a cataclysmic shift that's happening, okay? And people were trying to say, is this 2007? Is it 9/11? Is it 18% interest rates in, 1979? It's none of that, okay? But I will just tell you this. You're going to need to change your mindset, because at the time on February 27th, I wrote down the following. Number 1, expect this thing to last 9 months. Over the last month, it's going to last longer. Now you may say, hey, Derek, my state's letting up in June and all of this. The effects are going to last longer. You guys get that? So I hope you get that. Second bullet point I told my team is you have to understand or at least treat this like it's the new normal. I also told real estate agents, don't worry about getting a normal job because they're gone. Okay? Somebody asked me, who am I most worried about? And I want you guys to get this. This is anybody that's ever heard of, been to Landmark Education, they're going to get this part. Who am I most worried about? I said, I'm worried about the agent that has relied on a set of skills, an operating system in every area of their life, not just in business, in every area of their life, to either get by or become good, but has never become great. I want you guys to get that, because I'm involved in market centers and offices, and I have friends at offices from doing this for a very long time. And I've been baffled since the start of my career that there's people in offices that you just wonder, like, how are they getting by? How do they do it? Like, how are they just making it? How do they hold on? And what I told my group was, we are going to be forced to be great. There's nobody that thinks they're going to be out of the business. We're going to be forced to be great. Okay? And it's not a paranoia. I think as this thing riles out, look, NAR, CAR, where I operate, they both are pretty spot on. 50% of the sales, 2020 will have 50% less sales in 2019. That's just a stat. Okay? 50% less business. Okay? So the guys that have just figured out how to be good are going to have to figure out how to be great. Point number 2. Now I'm going to speed through point number 2 because I'm going to talk about that a little bit at the end. But point number 2 is 2020 will need to be your bunker year. Okay? you're going to have to force yourself to save money. You're going to force yourself to have to increase your cash flow. You're going to force yourself to have to reduce debt. I am letting you know, right when this thing started getting a little serious, every single business operator that I knew went through their balance statement and their balance sheet, their income statement, and started saying, where can I cut? Okay? Where's the fat? Where's the muscle? Where's the bone? Which we'll talk about. Okay? And, you know, Keith Cunningham had a great thought on this. And I was on the phone with Keith Cunningham and Gary Keller. And I want you guys to get this. Okay? The thought is this: recession is just another name for exposure. I need you guys to write that down. Okay? It exposes your finances. It exposes your thinking process. It exposes your models and system. It exposes everything. Okay? So you can either get into the fetal position saying, I've been exposed, or you can roll up your sleeves and say, I'm going to work my way out of this. Great. It has exposed all the weaknesses. Thank goodness they've been exposed. Now I know what I need to work on. Okay? I actually wrote a note this morning. Look, a lot of you guys know what to do. And this is a note that I wrote to myself. You are going to have to do what you know to do at a frantic pace. I cannot talk to a business person, a real estate person, a loan originator that hasn't had these ideas on models, systems, planning, all these things. I'm just letting you know, you're going to have to implement them now. Does that make sense? Okay. So next, we're going to fire through this.
Quick question for you.
Yeah.
At the part about the exposure part.
Yep.
The weaknesses, also your blind spots.
Blind spots, yes, but some of them aren't blind. Some of them you knew. Now you're just being forced to shore them up.
So you get both.
100%.
Yeah.
100%. So look, we're going to give you some mindset, because I will tell you this, you know, success, they say 99% perspiration, 1% inspiration. I get that. We're also going to give you the technical parts, and I'm going to say, look, I'm not going to say, hey, go out and buy leads from Boomtown. I'm not going to give you that stuff, but I'm going to say this. Here's what you need to do. Number one, survival skills. I have to master telephone sales. I have to master telephone sales. I cannot tell you the amount of people that say, well, Derek, if I just do 104 open houses every single weekend, 2 per weekend a year, and if they meet me, I'm golden. I say to them, in California, open houses are not allowed anymore, so that took that out of the equation. You're going to have to master telephone sales. And then I would say ... master Zoom calls. Okay? Meaning, what does that mean? You're going to have to give your presentation with the 55% of body language, the 38% of tonality, and the 7% of words like you would in front of a client. You have to master that. Okay? Second thing is this: persistence. Well, they didn't tell me that when I got into real estate. Here's why. Look, stat came out yesterday about the amount of buyers and sellers that are on the sidelines. And I need you guys to get this. Okay? 43% of buyers are holding off per NAR. 55% of sellers are holding off. Okay? So when I say persistence, I want you guys to get this. This is a little Grant Cardoneism. 10x, 10 to 1. Which means in 2019, 2018, 2010, even in January, if I talked to a certain amount of people, a certain amount would transact. You can go through the Mike Ferry, Tom Ferry numbers. Hey, 250 dials, 50 contacts, 10 leads, 1 appointment, whatever your ratios are. What I'm just saying is you're going to be talking to more people that are saying, Derek, no matter what you tell me about low interest rates, no matter what you tell me about holding on to a home for a long period of time, we're not transacting. We're not buying and selling. So what I'm telling you is the amount of people that you are talking to needs to drastically increase. Drastically. Next point. Okay? And if I have time at the end of this, I'm going to let you guys know this. I want to circle around back to this. You need to become a master at conveying the benefits to buying and selling a home now, to both your sellers and your buyers. Okay? To both your sellers and your buyers. And I got a feeling I'm not going to have time to go into this, but I want to give you guys something that you can use today. Okay? I want to give you a number, something to write down, 2 numbers. I want you to write down 1% equals 11%. Write this down. Fannie Mae came out with a report that says rates actually may go down next year. Okay? I will tell you this, I am not an economist. I study business 15 minutes a day, every single day, not 4 hours on CNN. But I will tell you this, I do know this. If interest rates went up 1%, let's just say from 3.5% to 4.5%, the amount of purchasing power that borrower has goes down 11%. You need to know that as a practitioner. So I can say to a buyer, look, if you plan to stay in your home 3 to 5 years, I want you to lock in at the lowest interest rate possible, because even if the market goes down 10%, which it's not forecasted to do, you are still ahead because that interest rate is going to be with you for 10 years on average, based on a 30-year loan, 360 months. But I am telling you, you need to be able to convey to a buyer or seller, you're talking to a seller, saying, hey, prices have not started to dip yet. If you want to maximize your equity, now is the time to do it. Well, Derek, there's less buyers. Yep, there's also less sellers. Okay? All I'm saying is this, you only have a few minutes on a phone call to be able to convey benefits. Most of the time, you need to be able to have them rifled out. Like I didn't have to look through my notes for this 1 and 11%. It's in here, okay? I can look a seller in the face and say, look, if you're thinking about selling, it's a good time to do it, okay? Next point on survival skills, kitchen sink. What does that mean? Derek, what does that mean? Look, you may come across a lead from a prospecting effort. They may call in, whatever it may be. You may generate a lead. And you may just say, oh, I'll get to them at some point. I am letting you know, when that lead hits, when I say kitchen sink, what is it? It's a handwritten thank you card that goes out immediately. It's a pre-listing packet that goes out the next day. It's a text video message. It's an email with comparable sales the next day. I've hit them for 7 days. I've thrown the kitchen sink at them. Why? Because I'm wise enough to know there are other hungry, tenacious, aggressive business people operating in my market that are throwing the kitchen sink at them. I need to separate myself because there's less buyers and sellers. I need to absolutely separate myself. The only way to do that is with that lead I have to throw the kitchen sink at them. Next point on survival skills, okay? I need to have a when I got in the real estate business, I did not come out of the gates gangbusters. My first part-time year, I sold 6 houses. My first full-time year, I sold 12. And I came to the game from 6 years at Cal State Fullerton, 1 year at USC, working already in real estate as a non-licensed agent for people and reading books and working for real estate consultants like Dr. Rocky Tarantello at USC. And I came out of the gate and I didn't light it up. What I did though is this. I had a masterful lead follow-up system. So 5 years later, my 5th year, I closed 117 deals. All by lead follow-up. Okay? I am letting you know. My lead follow-up system because I've got to play makeup. What does that mean? Most of us are going to have to play makeup unless you want to wash away 2020, which I am not doing. But I'm very clear, I'm going to have to do more deals in Q3 and Q4 to make up, to make sure I hit my goals for 2020. The only way I'm going to do that is I've got to have more leads that I'm in closer contact. When they're ready to go, I've got to be there. And it's going to only be through a masterful lead follow-up system. You guys clear so far? Okay, we're rifling through this. I told you we go fast. Okay? I'm going to let you guys know this. And like I said, this was designed for my group. I run a team of 55 people. This was designed for them. Okay? But the next point that I wrote down was this. You're going to have to become distractionless. Okay? Distractionless. Meaning the sign of the times is going to require a ton of focus. And look, I'm going to let you guys know what that means is not Googling coronavirus every 5 minutes, not watching CNN. And it means even this. It means not checking your phone, your cell phone every 2 minutes. Well, I got to be service oriented. It may be the only lead I get this 6 months. Look, you're going to have to take focus to another level. Okay? And I'm going to tell you guys one quick story on the focus thing. Look, I didn't come out of the gates, blazing guns. My first broker actually made me work in a bathroom. We don't have time for that story, but I worked in a bathroom for 5 years. Okay? And I had a wood around the toilet, wood around the sink. True story, Neil Schwartz, Walnut, California. I will tell you this, you walked into that bathroom with the wood, and I had a headset on and a screen, and I had a stopwatch around my neck. I'm a nice guy, I'm a social guy, but I was very focused that I wanted to do something in my 20s that hadn't been done by a lot of people. So I had a stopwatch. I was focused. I had time. Look, you're just going to need to be focused. I'll just, I'll leave it at that. Okay. And if you've gotten by, going back to that other point, if you've gotten by just making it and, you're just going to have to be ultra focused. Okay.
Eric, I see you swinging that bat. Are you okay?
I'm good. I'm focused.
I sense an intensity right now that I actually haven't seen from you for a while, but I want to just focus on that for a minute. It's a 10X to everything you're talking about. Yeah, well, some of the people on this call, and I'm just going to, I've got notes. And by the way, I'm just going to give you this, going back to the Tony Robbins thought. Ron will just tell you, I will not show up if I am not ultra prepared. Okay? I will not show up if I am not ultra prepared. Okay? Where I've got my thoughts down. Sellers and buyers the same way. You should not go to a listing presentation. We don't have the time to it.
If you're working with the seller, by the way, and this is a side note, look, you should be able to go to a seller and say, yep, your house was built in 1995, MJ Brock. You got a 6,037 square foot lot. Your house is 1817 square feet. There's 3 active listings. It's this house, this house, this house. This is a Jones's house. Look, I am letting you know, it's not my IQ that's got me 4,000 deals. It's preparation. So when I when I work with a buyer, work with a seller, I do not want to be rifling through, what do I do? What do I do? That's just a side note, okay? But I will tell you this, the purpose of this call, what Keith Cunningham, and I shared with some of the leadership team, okay? There's a great book called Robert Kiyosaki wrote titled Rich Dad, Poor Dad. Keith Cunningham is the rich dad in that book. His name's not referenced. He's the rich dad, okay? And, you know, going back to the intensity, Keith said on Wednesday this, the biggest mistake people are making as individuals or business owners the world over, not in Chino Hills, not in California, not in Florida, the world over. Pakistan, Greece, Canada, the world over, is this. Very simple. They're operating business as usual. They're operating business as usual, okay? He said, look, you need to be operating your business, and these are Keith's words, like an emergency room. What does that mean? I'm gonna share with you the words that Rich Dad said. His mouth, my ears, my mouth, your ears. Urgency. Okay? Urgency. I got to get things done. Hey, all of these ideas that I've had in my mind for 4 years, I got to get them done the next 60 days. That new marketing presentation, that pre-list pack, redoing my listing presentation, that social media campaign. Oh, I can't wait. It's been waiting for 3 years. Got to be 60 days now. Okay? Okay? Goes from want to have to. Second word Keith said, intensity. Third word Keith said, speed. Fourth word Keith said, I love this one, precision. There's no more guessing, guys. Okay? You need to have a precise plan. Why? Because expenses are important right now. And if you're going to invest $1, you got to be able to extrapolate your ROI. It's not just saying, hey, I'll go get Commissions Inc. for $2,000 a month, and I heard my buddy's got some leads coming in. Got to be precision as a business person now. Next thing that Keith said, constant monitoring of vital signs. What's that mean? Cash flow, cash, constant monitoring. Why? Okay? Keith says, hey, even if you got that PPP loan, bro, 2.5 times, if this thing lingers for 6 months and people aren't going to Wood Ranch in December and they're not going to Harkin Cedars in March of 2021, precision, baby, precision, okay? Mistake-free, okay? So going back to it, distractionless. This is what I told my team. Hey, look, be a little drastic with it. Cell phone down until noon. 50-minute hours. What's that mean? Do whatever you're doing, lead generation, working on a project, negotiating. Don't do it for 5 minutes, 10 minutes, 50 minutes, hours. At the end of the 50 minutes, go out, use the restroom, get a drink of water, you know, do some chants, maybe return a few phone calls, call your wife, whatever. When 11 o'clock rolls around, bam, 50-minute hour. I got 50 minutes. Stick to something, okay? I also wrote this down. Limit time outside of your chair, okay? I'm gonna let you guys know, there's this phrase that I don't know where I heard it from, but it's important. It's called creative avoidance. And the monitoring of that And if there's one thing that you guys should be aware of, it's this: creative avoidance. What is that, Derek? Creative avoidance is doing things that are more comfortable to me than doing things that I know to do. Does that make sense? And look, I would say when I started off, I knocked doors from 9 to 12, 1 to 4, and I called out of the white pages, crisscross directory. Most people on this call, the millennials, don't know what the white pages are, okay? Was it joyful? Not really. I learned to like it from this standpoint. I got to the point, as Mike Ferry would say, some of these, I attached the action to the outcome. So I attached knocking doors with my script. Hi, this is Derek with Century 21. I'm looking at homes in the area. I was wondering, if you were to move, when would that be? Well, never. No problem. Thanks for asking. Thanks for answering. By the way, how long have you lived at this address? We lived here 10 years. Where'd you move from? We moved from Pico Rivera. How'd you happen to pick Hacienda Heights? School district. Want our kids to go to Los Altos Elementary, Newton, and Los Altos. If you were to move, when would that be? Probably 2 years. 2 years, where would you go? So what I'm saying is this. I said, hey, I got to get good at scripts and dialogues and have it like that. For sale by owner, expired listings, listing presentation, buyer presentation, door knock. But I attached knocking on doors, calling expired listings, going to for sale by owners with income. Said, hey, I want to make $1 million before the time I'm 30. So I got to do what I need to do. So I didn't even look at the door. I looked at the door saying, a no is getting me closer to a yes. Okay. But limit time outside of your chair. Don't be walking around, whatever. I'm going to let you know, besides that stopwatch, Ron, I had a surfboard leash tied around my little stand-up desk. And it just reminded me, there's easier things that I can do. I can go do that CMA or work on this. I need to find clients. I need to find clients.
Do you not have a GPS ankle bracelet to watch?
No, I do not. I do not. So, I wrote this down February 27th. I also say this, I'm a big advocate on getting done things that need to be done this year. We're going to talk a little bit about that. We're doing good on time. But I told these guys, limit all projects and ideas that will not produce income this year. Well, I got this 5-year thing. If it's not producing income right now, work on that in December. I need things for income right now for you. Okay? Point number 4. Okay? I asked my group these, I go, there are 3 questions that you need to answer. Okay? 3 questions. Number 1, what to do? Put in parentheses, knowledge. And I'm going to give you my opinion. What to do has not changed drastically. Okay? Now, you can say, well, Derek, there's no open houses in California, and we need to get this coronavirus addendum signed. Yep. In California, for the most part, it's not in the city of Los Angeles. We can still go to listing appointments. About 50% of mine are done on Zoom. I have them shoot photos, do videos, send it to me. I email them comps. We do a Zoom call. We can still list properties. We can still show properties. Yes, gloves, booties, hand sanitizer, social. But the mindset needs to be this. If you think everything is completely changed and you're at home watching TV, you've self-selected. Okay? Do you know what to do? Knowledge. Yep, I know what to do. Number 2, how to do it. How do I do it? I want you to write in parentheses, skill. Okay? Skill. Do I know how to do this effectively? Okay? I can tell you this. I have never proclaimed myself as a public speaker. but I knew I wanted to be good at it because I wanted to lead men and women on my team. So what I did when I joined Keller Williams is I reached out to 23 different offices and said, let me do a presentation. And I was out of my comfort zone. So I had to massively prepare. Okay? But I said, I need to learn this skill of delivery, of tonality, of inflection. Because for me to be good at coaching and training and leading people, I need to do it. So I taught courses from Santa Barbara down to San Diego County at all these offices. I developed them, I built them, and I taught them just to get good at making presentations. Okay? How to do it, skill. You just need to decide right now, does my skill level need to improve? And if it does, you work on it. I don't care if it's that Zig Ziglar practicing in front of a mirror, you work on it. Because skill is going to be required. Okay? I told somebody yesterday, you know, I'm working on double ending a home. They said, well, you know, we came to you as the agent, we're looking for a discount. I said, look, if you want a haircut, go to the barber, but they're closed. No haircuts today. Okay? That was a skill. And I said, sorry, I'm getting on a rant with that one. I said, look, there is a difference between a high school basketball player and LeBron James. Am I saying I'm LeBron James? No, I'm not going to be ego-based. But I will say this. The skill level, the aptitude of the agent makes a difference in your ability, not from a financial standpoint, but your ability to close this escrow in times like this, okay? You need to know what to say, how to say it, when to say it. And number 3, I wrote down why to do it. What I'm saying is this. If you're on this call and you say, Derek, I've got the knowledge. I went to 20 Brian Buffini seminars. I'm locked in here. I've been doing this. I've got this. I'm being coached up and all this stuff. I know how to do it. Great. Check. Number 2, I got the skill. I've done this. I do this, etc. Great. Here's what's going to be revealed. Your motivation level. The why to do it. Put down motivation. Because I can tell you this. I look around at my partners, my group. I have trained them to have the knowledge. I have trained them to have the skill. What I said today is I can't jump into their heart, their mind, their soul. It is, right now, it's all about motivation. Does that make sense? Okay. Point number 5, we're going to dive into a few things that I learned, but point number 5. Here's what you guys need to ask yourself, and I'm going to rifle through this. Where are the opportunities? Okay? Look, if you guys want to drive, if you guys want to buy a new car, let's say you say, look, I want to buy a 2019 one-year used Tesla S, the one with the long mileage, black. You say, that's what I want to do. You write it on your goal board, figure out the money, and you put it, you know, you start seeing that Model S Tesla driving everywhere. It's called the reticular activating membrane. What you put in your head, I'm not talking about the book, The Secret, what you put in your head, you start seeing showing up. So if you are asking yourself, if you're sitting on your couch watching CNN and, you know, the mayor or the governor or the president, no opportunities. World's fun. Or if you're saying, there's a ton of opportunities here, okay? There's a ton of opportunities. And I'm not saying, who am I going to need to help? Look, if Jamie Dimon from Chase makes a statement that says 700 FICO score, 20% down, and says, we anticipate foreclosures, again, to a certain extent, maybe not 2007 levels, I'd be calling REO banks now, not in 2022. I'd be doing that now. And you don't need to have 50 accounts, okay? But that's an opportunity to serve. I'll give you one example. I mean, I can say for sale by owners, hey, it was open houses. Those are gone. Great source to call. What do you do to market your home? Nothing now, bro. Landlords. Oh, tenants not paying rent. We were thinking about holding on to it for 2 years. The small headache became a big headache. Non-owner occupied. Investors. Past client center of influence. You guys have heard that. I said builders. What does that mean? Look, I'll give you one example. I'm going to rifle through the other ones, but I'll tell you this. Some of you guys have heard of the term iBuyer. Zillow's got one, Redfin's got one, Keller Williams got one, OfferPad, Open Door. You guys have heard that. Well, when I say be persistent, I'm the guy that gets on a plane that goes out to Scottsdale, Arizona and knocks on Open Door's door. No appointment, just gets on there. Ron, we talked, I think, that day. Where are you? I'm in Scottsdale knocking on a door. You got on a plane? Yep. Just to knock on Open Door's door. Oh, I drove down to Pierce Street in Riverside. No appointment. I found, how'd you guys even find out we're here? There's no sign. Oh, I've been Googling it. I found out when you leased the space. Okay? 9 months. They work with Lennar and big builders. You walk in, they handle their contingency management. 9 months, no traction. Most people would have given up. Not calling them, sending them stuff like that. Sent them some shoes, get me in the door. Send them, baseball bat. Inman reads, Open Door, stop spying homes. I call them up. What's happening right now when people walk in the door? They say, they happen to be a good company, and they say, we could use some help, okay? And I would tell you this, there are opportunities to serve and to be of value. And my personal opinion, it's higher now than ever. Because you're not just a real estate agent, you're helping them through, there's a lot of fear. You have to be so skilled in coaching them through that, okay? And I have always said this, I have never had a pushy bone in my body because I become knowledgeable and I'm clear on the benefits. And there's times, if you're really good, and I'm going to get into this. Why do I want you to sell a lot of homes and make a lot of money? For this reason. There are times when I tell a seller or a buyer, past client, don't sell your house. Client in Corona moved to Florida. Should I sell my house? 2012. Nope. Market going up. Nope. 2018. Time to go. Great. You tell me. You've told me no for 6 years. That is one of the reasons I've always said, sell a lot of homes because then you can represent your clients the best. Okay? Couple other bullet points. This is going to get ugly for about 3 minutes. Okay? Write this down. Recession is just another name for exposure. What? Yep. Another name for exposure. It exposes your finances. It exposes your thinking. It exposes your models and systems. What does that mean? You've seen a lot of heavily debt-loaded real estate organizations start to sell and also make some moves. If the wind is not just blown, as Keith Cunningham said, hey, a meteor hit this and there's asteroids coming, okay? On the thrive part of it, Ron, I want you to go with this. You guys can't be thinking about today and next week and next month alone. You got to be thinking about the end of the year and say, hey, I'm having a good month in May. I have to assume it may not always be a May month for me. So I have to average out the cash flow and I have to mark my expenses to what my predicted cash flow is going to be. And in most cases, it's almost always going to be less. So what I'm saying is this, I want you to write this down. You can't play checkers anymore. Most real estate agents get look, No checker players anymore. Write this down. A grandmaster, like the Bobby Fishers of the world or the kids from Sweden, a grandmaster that plays chess can see 20 moves ahead. It's going to be required of people right now. In a recession, it's required. And if we're at 15 to 18 to 20% unemployment, that word recession is going to get replaced with depression real quick. Okay? And we're still feeling it, but it's not going to go away, even if the 484 billion, not going to go right away. You need to see 20 moves ahead. Okay? I'm also going to tell you this. Some of you needed this to happen. That's pretty harsh. But if he can probably tell Tony Robbins that, I'm going to listen. Why? For you to leapfrog your growth. This was the only thing that would help you leapfrog your growth. You had to, it's not a want to, you have to become great. Okay? Okay. He said reinvention is either going to be self-imposed by you, it's going to be forced on you by the economy. You choose. Okay?
Say that again.
Reinvention is either going to be self-imposed, okay, or going to be forced upon you. Okay? If anybody drives a BMW, they know the logo on the front of the hood is a blue and white little emblem. What they don't know is that BMW used to make propellers, and the blue and white are clouds and the sky. It's called reinventing. Yamaha, Honda, Yamaha with keyboards, now sells motorcycles, Honda with cars. You're going to have to reinvent if you want to have a long-term business. Okay? I'm going to leave you with this. Okay? He said something very, very poignant. Okay? And he said, I was one of the biggest fans of Kobe Bryant. And this is what he said. I happen to be one of the biggest fans because the majority of my business career was in alignment with his basketball career. He had a 20-year career. So I happen to like him because of the work ethic and standards and really even post-basketball, his thoughts as a father, and the relationships that he built, even though he was probably practicing social distancing from the outside from a long time, but then you come to find out he had a lot of great relationships, okay? But Keith said this, and he goes, look, Kobe Bryant didn't have to die. And it was a tough part to hear. And he said, I'm saying that with the love for the gentleman and with empathy in my heart. But I'm saying that because I want to shock you guys, okay? I need you guys to understand the way you fly a helicopter, the way you run your business, the way you run your life is different in clear skies versus fog. And if you try to operate in fog without looking at the dials or making adjustments or landing the plane or stepping up your game, do not expect a result that is pleasant. He said, I am letting you know that there's fog there and you need to learn to adjust your helicopter. Okay? And I think that when he said that, he said it out of the love for the people on that airplane and not really saying anything, but just saying, look, I need you guys to get this point. This is not something that's going away if the governor lifts it May 15th. Okay? I'll leave you with one thought. Okay? There's a little thing that I watch every day, and it is from a movie called Inside Man. Okay? And you can write down inside man and write this down. Therein lies the rub. Okay? Therein lies the rub. And it's a Clive Owen little script. And there's two things that I take away from that every single day when I'm driving to work. Okay? He says this line, as for the why, beyond the obvious financial reasons, it's very easy because I can. I listen to that every single day. And although I'm a fan of Simon Sinek, Find Your Why and all of that, sometimes the only why you need is because I can. The second thing at the end, when he says, how am I going to pull this off? He says, therein lies the rub, as the bard would tell us. What that phrase means is I've got the skill, I've got the capability, I just need to find out how I pull it off. And that's the fun part. I want you guys to look at this from that script that I drive down Eucalyptus Avenue and I play that. I say, look, if your mindset goes from this is the worst situation or this is really fun because now I'm going to have to reinvent and raise my game, and it's therein lies the rub. It's in about the how it can become fun. I'm done.
Did you just drop the mic?
No, I have the baseball bat. So we've got a few minutes for questions and answers if there are any, but thank you for having me.
Yeah, that was awesome, Derek. Appreciate that. We've given over about $800, almost $1,000 to food banks across the country for questions over the last few weeks. We'll do the same thing today. So we have one already in the queue. If you were able to wave a wand and have a realtor MLO on the line do one thing to reinvent themselves, what is becoming the new normal, what would you encourage them to take away today?
So a realtor or a loan officer? Because I think they'd be different.
Both, if you can. If you can do it quickly enough, let's give one for each. We got plenty of both on here.
Okay, so I would just say this. The thing that they would share would be the intensity level, okay? That they have to respond to the times, okay? The real estate agent, I would say this. Understand that 90%, and you can argue with me, but it's only an argument that you're going to win or lose because 90% of my business is still the same. I have to work harder, make more contacts, build stronger relationships, etc. But 90%. So the answer to the real estate agent is understand it hasn't changed drastically. They have not, it changed drastically when they took the MLS and they put it online in 1995. It changed drastically when you had smartphones. Look, it hasn't changed as drastically as you think. And I'd probably say that for both. That mindset, things haven't changed.
Good. That was from Los Angeles. From Tampa, more of a comment. This was fantastic. My eyes and ears were glued. Great job, Derek. From Orlando, the how can become fun. Powerful. Thank you. So let's get some more questions in here. I'd like to invite Mark and Dave, co-founders of AmeriFirst, in for a couple of comments and maybe a question for Derek. Guys, you out there?
So yeah, I'll start out, Craig. Thanks, Derek. Awesome. Thank you so much for doing that. I'm a big Robert Kiyosaki, Rich Dad, Poor Dad fan. It's one of my favorite books growing up. So you did get to spend an hour with Rich Dad, and I wondered if there are any other pearls that you can share with us. And does he do public events? Because I'd love to listen to him. He just got to be an incredible person.
So I was asking my business partner Alberto about that. He does, and I can get the information out. I have not been to one, but after listening to him on Wednesday, if he's the rich dad and is the guy at Unlimited Power with Tony Robbins that Tony calls out in stages to talk about money and business. Some of the notes that crazy people are running their business the same way. That's what he said. He goes, if you're running a business the same way, crazy people. He said, what sabotages reinvention is an attachment to the old ways.
Oh,
We've heard that.
That's powerful. That is
Okay.
so true.
Yep. He also wrote down is this. Think about your business like this. The greatest risk we face today is that quarantine becomes a new societal protocol. What does that mean? If we have the swine flu come up in 2021, they're going to shut the country down. So what he advised us is this. Use this time to say, how does my business react to major jolts? Okay. Oh, here's one he put down. Okay. Debt is nothing more than hoping you'll get lucky. Okay. One more. Oh, let me just, I got two more thoughts from him. You guys good with that? Because
please,
I was just like, creating wealth is a slow and plodding process. Underline the word plodding, which means I want to go out and own 20 doors. Well, how do I do that? What's the average fourplex in my area? What's the down payment required? How long is it going to take me to save? Like plotting it out, not just I want to go on 20 doors, 5 fourplexes in the city of Pomona, whatever it is. It's plotting. Okay. I'm going to tell you this. One other thing that he put down. Oh, two other things. He talked about people. Gary Keller asked him about people. Cut the fat first, muscle only if you must, and never touch the bone. We talked about that yesterday. 3 audits of your business. Expenses. Some of us have gained some weight in our business. Time to audit your expenses. Number 2, audit the processes. How efficiently are you? Here's what he also said. Businesses over the next 5 years are going to have to do more with less people. Technology revolution has been around forever. AI, you're going to have to audit your efficiency. Number 3, your capacity. He said some of you are going to operating in big office spaces. You won't be in 2 years. And your personal capacity. How much can you take on individually, your bandwidth? You asked for it, Doug. More than he's shared.
Good stuff. Good stuff.
Awesome.
From Indianapolis, Indiana, since mastering a lead follow-up system is so key, which do you recommend or which do you like the best?
Okay. So I can tell you this. I used a system called Top Producer for years, going back to what they call floppy disk, which most of you guys won't do. My answer is going to be very simple, whichever one you use, okay? Whether it's Chime, Follow Up Boss, we use something through Keller Williams called Command. We are implementing something called Brevity on top of that. But I'm gonna let you guys know this. The 117 deals was done with 3x5 cards, 1 through 30, January through December, in a shoebox. And for many years, even to this, I have manual leads on people that on 30-day leads, I also do them manually. So what I would say is this, I coach a lot of new agents and they will spend so much time trying to figure out the perfect system. And what I say is this, get one you're comfortable with, but get it done fast and implement it first. Don't spend all of the time. Just get a lead follow-up system. The one that you use is the one that's the best.
Yeah, here. From Cincinnati, Ohio. Oh, Dave, you want to jump in?
Go ahead.
Cincinnati, Ohio. How often do you hold meetings with your team?
So it's funny. It's a great question. So we have an expansion organization, which means we have business partners in different market centers, but we meet Monday through Friday at 9 a.m. 9 to 9:30, Monday through Friday. And it's like the mail. It gets delivered. And I do it every single day. unless I am out of town. I have one of my business partners do it. But we meet every single day. I do it from a standpoint of building culture. I do it from a standpoint of giving them an anchor for the day. I do it from a standpoint of making sure there's positive thoughts in their mind, even if they get bumped around. I do it from an accountability standpoint. I also don't make it mandatory. The reason I don't make it mandatory is this. I worked when I was in college, I worked part-time in real estate, part-time in a restaurant, and the manager said, he used to give me this phrase, it's on you. So what he meant is this, own it, own the results. So I don't make it mandatory on purpose. That forces me to bring great content every single day, so they don't want to miss out. I didn't say, oh, had a conversation with Gary Keller and Keith Cunningham, tune in tomorrow. I say, I got to be bringing data, information, so they don't want to miss out. But Monday through Friday, 9 a.m., 5 days a week. Questions?
Yeah. Derek, awesome stuff. I tell you what, you resonated big time as I heard you talk about, people are running their business as usual. People striving to get back. Let's run business as usual. And I heard what you said. That's a huge mistake. You get caught up in running business as usual. And then you compared it to Keith talking about the ER. Talk about that for a minute. And part of getting caught up in the trap of running your business as usual, I suspect that you can get into a lot of creative avoidance, can fall into that. But we talked before we went on, we talked a little bit about fear, not in a weakness, but healthy fear being an important part of running your business.
Yep.
Talk about that for a minute, if you would.
Well, I will tell you this. The minute we started seeing a shift, even before, I'm in California, even before, Newsom put us on shutdown or whatever, the minute we started seeing a shift, I looked at it as an opportunity. And I'm going to let you know, our operation had fat. Okay? So we had lead generation things, accountability things that I was paying, and they were not producing results. So I'm just going to be very frank with you on that, okay? And what we did, we literally went through and cut all those expenses, okay? We cut expenses and that would probably never have been cut if we weren't forced to take a hard look at it. And, if we had Vulcan 7 or Red X or Mojo or some of these dialers and, that weren't being utilized to their full extent. So we cut them, okay? And my mindset going back into it is this, I've been mentored by great people, incredible people. And Bergam knows some of the best in the industry, okay? So I want to give that to them. But my mindset going back in, Dave, is this. They're going to have to earn it next time around. There's no giving. They're going to get my heart, my mind, and my time, which is the most valuable commodity. But any other system, show me first. Questions?
All right. We're getting close to the top of the hour. I've got one last question I'd like to throw in here. In January, you shared with us that you really weren't into the social media marketing aspect of that. Does this kind of new normal change that for you? And are you planning to use social media going forward?
So we have always had a plan to use social media, and I'm not going to give you necessarily the playbook, but it hasn't changed right now, and it's not going to change. So I'm just going to let you know. You guys have maybe seen a movie called Braveheart with William Wallace. Anybody seen that movie? There's a scene in that movie where William Wallace says, hold, hold, steady, hold. You guys probably know the scene.
Oh, yeah.
So I tell people, I go, look, I got diagnosed with learning disabilities, and they found, I figured out that I got to do a lot of thinking to make sure that I am the smartest guy I can be. So going back to that, no, we plan to do social media, but when we do it, we're going to do it. I've built a team now of 55 people. Our goal this year still is 600 transactions. When we launch, we're going to launch right. Okay. And I'll tell you this, there's also been something that has come with me not being, posting all of these things. It's like that restaurant with no banner there that's been there for years where people say, who is this guy? Where is this restaurant? So I'm going to tell you this, it's been thought out, but yes, I mean, we're not doing it from a panic mode, but we will be rolling it out as a company. All of my agents do it, but I'm going to be rolling it out when I can roll it out right.
All right, good stuff. We are at the top of the hour. Thank you so much, Derek. Ron, final thoughts?
Derek, that was awesome. That's all I can tell you. That was, I dropped the mic for you. That was incredible. We've got I literally, my friend, 7 pages. And thank God we're recording this, okay? Because I couldn't write fast enough. But the content you delivered, the thrive and survive with the detail that goes behind that. I hope everyone on this call has been able to really maximize. I asked you when we started, what's the one thing you want to get out of this? And you said, I want to change the lives of at least one person on this call. I'm sure that's happened. We'd love to hear from you. Thanks very much. You're a great friend. You're a great man and a great real estate agent and partner. And thank you for joining our call.
Thank you guys for having me. Make it a great day.
Yep. Be safe, everybody. Thank you for joining us. We'll see you next time in the AmeriFirst AmeriTrust Speaker Series. Take care, everybody.
Okay.